if he doesn't, I think the project could theoretically still move forward. It will just change into maybe each movie will be a different possible backstory for the Joker. It will be a different decade and a different version of the Joker. Hello, nerds. Yeah, so we're back finally. This is just to keep things as quick as possible to start. I will start to customize them for each individual outlet one more when we get a little bit deeper in this. I am, as you can see, for those of you watching me, I am still getting things situated and unpacking and so on and so forth. So it's going to sound a little bit different because I'm using different audio equipment. It's going to look a little bit different because, again, unpacking and finding things. Not the least of which, the hat. Can't find the Mortal Kombat hat, so we had to go with this old guy. Probably going to find its way on the set now that I know where this one is. For whatever reason. Anyway, yeah, unpacking. Welcome back to your nerd news. Twice weekly, we are changing the days just to give me a little bit more breathing room because Tuesday, with my day job schedule, Tuesday was kind of breaking my back. Friday as well, though that might change. So we're looking at Wednesday and Saturday now. Though it might go Tuesday and Friday, or it might go Wednesday and Friday. Just depends on how the Saturday thing works out, because that's still kind of up in the air, what with the day job and the streaming schedule. Speaking of the streaming schedule, we will not be returning to Twitch just yet for streams. Probably going to be at least a week before we get back to streaming. Very likely something more akin to 2 weeks before we reset up the streaming schedule over on Twitch. You can go check out the VODs over on Twitch, actually even on the YouTube channel, twitch.com/generally_nerdy. That's right, 2 N's, because Generally Nerdy was taken by a stream that doesn't exist. And over on the YouTube channel, it is under the Nerdy Culture playlist. I need to rename the playlist. Anyway, so yeah, you can check that out on the YouTube or on the Twitch. More full VODs over on the Twitch, or over on the YouTube than on the Twitch, because I'm still learning Twitch. Anyway, thank you for joining me. That is all of the housekeeping out of the way. We have a show because it's been 2.5 months. I did not go all the way back for that entire 2.5 months. I assume that stuff that's that old is no longer relevant, or there's been an update to it, or so on and so forth. You've already heard about it from other outlets. So I did go back a few weeks, though, about 2 to 2.5 weeks, depending on the section. Some of these things, some of the things, again, announcements in the tech section are old at this point, so I didn't really cover those. But we do have a little bit of everything. So let's jump off in the music section. First thing, we are restructuring this just a little bit. We're going to tackle, much like the other sections, any of the follow-ups or corrections will happen first, and then we go into the actual news. And then, because it's music and everybody's always going on tour, and we talk tours fairly frequently, or new videos and so on and so forth, those are just going to get a whole subsection to themselves. So in the follow-ups and corrections, we got nothing. But in news, we do have one thing on the DMX. DMX's posthumous record is a record called Exodus. I did not realize until I started doing research for this episode that he finished this literally days before he passed. One of the really awesome things about that is not only is it finished, so it's not going to be a Mac Miller situation where it doesn't exactly feel like a previous record that he's put out. It definitely still has that feel to it, but it also has a bunch of guest appearances. We've got, and I'm just going to run through the list real quick, Jay-Z and Nas on one track, Bono, Usher, The Lox. I haven't heard from The Lox in probably 20 years. Snoop Dogg, Alicia Keys, Swizz Beatz, and Lil Wayne, all on the record. So I did not, for whatever reason, write down the release date for the new record, but you can go listen to the first single if you follow the link down in the description. Pretty freaking awesome if you are into the raps and the things. That is the only thing in the actual news. Now let's talk about some tours that have been announced in the last couple of weeks that are definitely noteworthy. So first off, we have Foo Fighters celebrating their 28th anniversary, or 26th rather, anniversary. Whew, I can read. It starts July 28th. I believe it starts out in California. Definitely go check and see if they're coming to your neck of the woods. Slipknot, this is a huge one for me because I'm a huge Slipknot fan, but they're also going on tour with Killswitch Engage and Code Orange, two of my other absolute favorite bands. So they're going on, and then Fever 333, I don't know who that is. This is the Knotfest tour, so a couple of these dates are going to be full-on festival style. There's going to be a bunch more bands included, but the main tour does involve those 4 bands. Pretty freaking awesome. It starts September 25th in Des Moines, as you would expect. As it stands right now, they're not coming to see me, but there are 28 dates so far. Hopefully, they will announce a couple of more dates after, because it ends in Arizona, so I'm thinking maybe they might come my way after that, but who knows? We'll see when it happens. The next tour I wanted to let you guys know about is August Burns Red is going on tour. This is the 10-year anniversary of their record The Leveler. So they're going to be presumably going to be playing that record front to back, and then throwing in some other tracks off their newest record, probably some other big tracks off of records they've done since, but mostly it's just going to be that Leveler record. They're going on tour with Fit for a King, ERRA, and Like Moths to Flames. Starts September 9th in Philadelphia. There are 42 dates on that one, so they are very likely coming very close to you. And then the last tour on here is not heavy or hip-hop. Is actually Alannis Morissette, so it's throwback style. Alannis Morissette is going on tour with Garbage and Liz Phair, so super-duper 90s alt-rock chick vocalist style. Starts August 12th. There is more than 50 dates on this tour, so I bet she's going to be coming to you, especially she's got the last leg of the tour is all throughout Europe and Australia, so check it out. Like I said, over 50 dates, and it's going to stretch all the way through 2022. So awesome. Lots of touring going on now that COVID restrictions are starting to raise. And we're moving right along to some new noteworthy music videos. We have Till Lindeman releasing a solo single called Ich hasse Kinder. And I'm sorry, all you German speakers, if I totally butchered that, because I'm pretty sure I did. Translates to I hate kids, which is hilarious. I haven't watched it yet. I actually haven't watched any of these just yet. I did listen to the DMX track, and it's definitely worth a listen, but I haven't watched any of these because I might be doing reaction videos to some of them, which the reaction video list, those videos are going to start up again pretty soon. But that list just keeps growing, so yeah. The next one is At the Gates, releasing the video for their new single, The Paradox, and Spiritbox off of their new record. Secret Garden is the name of the song. Go check out all of those music videos. Those are definitely bands that deserve your attention if you like the heaviness. I guess Till isn't necessarily a band. He's just the front man for one of the greatest industrial metal bands ever. Yeah, so that, as we say, is the music section. Okay, as I kind of noted at the beginning of this, gaming and tech is going to be relatively pared down. That's largely due to the fact that, there's been a couple of big announcements. Panasonic just announced their GH5 II, which is the first time they've done a second version of a GH camera. So they've gone GH 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. They did an S version, so that's kind of a secondary version, but not an official Mark II for any of those until the 5, and they made the announcement they are working on the GH6. So the 5.2 is going to be some sort of stopgap in between them. We don't know exactly what that entails. We will definitely be keeping tabs on it. But again, you've probably heard, if you're into that kind of tech, you've probably heard all about it because there's a million freaking videos on YouTube about it so far, and counting at this point. So it's all kind of stuff like that, and we're on the verge of E3. So in the gaming side of the gaming and tech section, we're about to get inundated with a whole bunch of news. So I will try, because it does start on the 12th, and it goes through the 15th. No, it goes through the Tuesday following, so that's the 16th, I believe. I will try and keep tabs on that as it's happening, but very likely we will just have to add it to the episode as it is. If you want to follow me on Twitter, I definitely am trying to be more active there, and E3 is going to be a great way to do that. So generally nerdy on the Twitters, just look for the Nerdy Ninja. I believe there's an underscore in that one as well, but I don't remember. I'm sorry. I'll put it on the screen for those of you watching. But those of you listening, just look for both generally nerdy or generally underscore nerdy, because one of the Twitter or the Instagram has the underscore and whatever. All right. So the bits that we do have in gaming and tech, we do have one follow-up, because this is an ongoing game that we've been keeping tabs on, and that is Halo Infinite. We do have confirmation that there is going to be a state of play for the multiplayer at E3, speaking of. So that's going to be definitely awesome. The fan backlash from the last E3, where it kind of basically just looked like an Xbox One game, is a very large part of why we haven't seen this game yet. But hopefully that's a good thing. We will find out, like I said, in approximately 2 weeks. So there's that. Our first piece of actual news has to do with Legend of Zelda Skyward Sword. The HD remake for the Switch is coming very soon, and it is now confirmed that there is going to be motionless controls. Yes, I understand that there is motion sensitivity built into the Joy-Cons, but for those people that don't want to use the motion sensitivity, there is going to be an option for you. You can do motionless controls. Have not seen any video yet that shows how that works, but I mean, it's Nintendo, so it's probably gonna be pretty solid. I don't know that they've ever really had, even with the goofy Nintendo 64 controller, everything was really solid controls-wise. So definitely looking forward to seeing that. We probably will see something more on this from E3. And then our final piece in gaming and tech has to do with Mortal Kombat 11. This almost went into the rumor mill section, but I feel like it needs to be addressed here, because all of the rumors are baseless. All of the rumors are going off of Ed Boon trolls on Twitter, and we all already know that he makes a habit out of just straight trolling us on the internet. So the fact that people are speculating based on nothing needs to be addressed. All right, so Combat Pack 3 has not been deconfirmed for Mortal Kombat 11. There is still a definite possibility we will get a proper Combat Pack 3. I know the internet is, there are those that are saying, well, technically what we know of as Combat Pack 2 was Combat Pack 3, because Aftermath and the story expansion, we got 3 extra characters with that, and so that was Combat Pack 2, and what they called Combat Pack 2 is actually Combat Pack 3, and then insert picture of Charlie from It's Always Sunny Here with the yarn and the Post-its and the things. It's all just conspiracy theory stuff. Yes, technically on internal documents we have confirmed that NetherRealm did refer to Aftermath internally as Combat Pack 2, but they have not deconfirmed the existence of what they're going to sell as Combat Pack 3. They have said previously that they are going to support this game much longer than they have their previous games. So right now we are right about where they stopped supporting Injustice 2 as well as Mortal Kombat X. So I would imagine we got at least another 6 months of support. I know we did just get that last patch that nerfed the crap out of Shiva, also buffed the crap out of Shao Kahn. So yes, all of these things I know are happening and have happened, but that it should not be taken as a sign of things to come. We very possibly have E3 to look forward to because it has been so quiet and because of the Warner Brothers Discovery merger. A lot of stuff is going crazy over in the Warner Brothers NetherRealm camp, so I can't imagine that they're not working on something. That's something I have the strong feeling that is going to be another round of downloadable content, so another combat pack, as well as a couple more balance patches after that kicks, and they probably also are working on Injustice 3 or whatever the next game is going to be. It is not going to be Mortal Kombat versus Marvel, because that's not a thing that's going to happen. Licensing is a thing, guys, but we gotta stop all this speculation until we hear it from the horse's mouth, because it's just getting out of hand. Like, speculation is fun to a point, but now there's people getting very upset over this, and yeah, we're moving on. That is the end of the gaming and tech section, though. Let's talk comic books and books. We do have some comic book stuff. We have a new Black Label book, Superman vs. Lobo. Issue number 1 will be available in early August. The creative team behind this is Tim Seeley, Sarah Beadle. I'm sorry if I'm pronouncing these last 2 names incorrectly. Mirka Andolfo and Aref Prianto. Again, definitely apologize. It looks pretty freaking awesome. We will be keeping tabs on this as it gets closer, but right now we're moving on to our next piece, and that is Batman the World. So, back a few years ago, if you will remember with me, Batman Incorporated was going to expand the Bat mythos all over the world. That got kind of squashed really, really quick. I think we got maybe 5 books deep on that. I don't even think we got 5 books. It might have been 3 books before they rebooted the entire universe and we got Rebirth, New 52, and then we got Rebirth, and now it seems that we're revisiting this idea. So Batman the World is going to be a 7-issue, I believe. Yeah. Oh no, that's the other piece. I can't remember. Let's see. I'm gonna count them because it's all in the notes, kind of. So we have North America, France, Spain, Italy, Germany, Czech Republic, Russia, Poland, Turkey, Mexico, Brazil, China, Korea, and Japan. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. At least 14 issues of this book, because each of those places on Earth is going to get its own creative team. That creative team is going to work on a book. The first book, the North America book, is going to be tackled by none other than Brian Azzarello and Lee Bermejo. One of my favorite Batman creative teams ever, so I'm super stoked about that. But that's going to then lead into the rest of the series, which is, like I said, going to take Batman to the rest of the world. And then we have, and I'm not going to read the entirety. Check the show notes down below, or wherever the show notes are on the platform on which you are watching / listening, because it's extensive, but all of the writers and artists and so on and so forth are listed in the show notes. It's huge. It's going to be awesome. I'm very excited to see what all of these little creative teams have to bring to the Bat mythos. That is that piece, and then we're moving to our final piece, and that is another Batman related piece. The Joker, a puzzle box, is a new book that is coming from writer Matthew Rosenberg and artist Jesus Marino, Joshua Hickson, and Ulysses Areola. It is coming to DC. This is the 7-issue miniseries that I was thinking it was. The first issue is going to be on shelves on the 24th of August. So a lot of great stuff coming to DC in August. Definitely going to be keeping our tabs on all of it. And that's what we got for comic books and books. Let's hit up TV streaming. TV streaming right now everything is going. So it wasn't as big as I was hoping it was, considering we've been gone for so long, but we do have some stuff to catch up on. So first, we have a follow-up on Sandman. The Netflix series just got its entire cast announced. So we'll go over that real quick. I'm not gonna go over everyone that's already been announced. You can check the show notes down low. A couple of the noteworthy ones. Patton Oswalt is going to be the voice of Matthew the Raven. Very interesting to me was the fact that there's no delirium. And then also the Joanna Constantine. So it's not going to be John Constantine. It's going to be Joanna Constantine, which is John Constantine's great-great-great-great-grandmother. But it's going to be in a modern version of that character, presumably maybe from a different universe. Very interesting. It's not how the original book goes, so I don't care what Neil Gaiman says. It's not going to follow the first book exactly, but it still has potential of being great. I hope, maybe. But yeah, so again, check the show notes for the entire listing of the new cast and who they're going to be playing. No delirium once again. Strange. Moving on. Our next piece is another follow-up on the Powerpuff Girls. The live-action series that was going to the CW is not going to the CW soon. So the pilot did not work out as they had hoped. I saw one of the producers calling it a little too campy, but I don't believe that that's the entire story, because there was a leak of the script that made its way to the internets, and the fan base kind of pooped all over it, to be friendly with the words. It was hot garbage. So it doesn't sound like they're going to be recasting any of the actors. It does, though, sound like they are going back to the drawing board. Sound like they are going back to the drawing board to retool this series and make it something that the fan base is going to react to. There was, I don't know, just a weird preoccupation with like sex, and it's like, these are the Powerpuff Girls. That's not the kind of story that these characters should be telling. I don't know, yeah. Hopefully, what actually makes it on the air will be 10 times better than that leaked script, but we won't know that until it happens. So we're moving on, and our last piece is a little bit of a follow-up and just something I wanted to plug. The Friends reunion finally has made its way to HBO Max. If you are a fan of the show, even in the slightest, it's definitely worth a watch. I watched it's something like 2 hours or something. It's awesome. If you have even a passing enjoyment for it, and you have an HBO Max subscription, then it's totally a thing to do. I would almost go so far as to say this is probably one of the things that, if I didn't already have HBO Max, would tip me on the side of, all right, I'll pay the freaking $6 a month. So yeah, that's what we have for the TV streaming section. Now for the thing that the second likely thing that you're all here for, and that's the movie section. Movies, we do have one follow-up. It has to do with Spider-Man No Way Home. Sorry, I abbreviated in the notes and my brain just farted it all over me. Spider-Man No Way Home. Tom Holland, this will be his last solo movie on the contract. Is still one more guest appearance, be that a cameo or as part of an ensemble for one of the larger Marvel movies. That is still in his contract as well. But as far as the solo movies go, this is his last one. But we do know that Sony and Marvel have a good relationship once again. We also know that Tom Holland really loves playing this character and has said he would love to play this character forever. I'm paraphrasing, but that's the gist of it. So the odds of this actually being his last solo Spider-Man movie are pretty slim. Slim and none, and Slim just left the building. So I wouldn't hold your breath too long to see if it's going to happen, because it's very likely going to happen. He's going to sign another contract, probably get a little bit more money, and continue being everyone's favorite neighborhood Spider-Man. So that is the follow-ups, and now we have news, and we're kicking things. It's going to be huge. The first piece is Joker 2, the thing that they kept saying is never going to happen. The creative people, not the studio types, but the creatives behind the first Joker movie with Joaquin Phoenix, all said, and all being Joaquin and Todd Phillips, that there was not going to be a sequel. This is going to be a standalone movie. They made it for approximately $55 million. It made the studio over $1 billion, and therein lies the news. Because it was so huge, because it made them so freaking much money, the studio went, yeah, maybe we can, grease some pockets, make this happen. It is officially announced. I have seen some, I have seen some news outlets still marking it as rumor, but it is officially announced that Todd Phillips is returning as co-writer, not producer, not director, but co-writer of a sequel to the Joaquin Phoenix Joker movie. Joaquin, on the other hand, has not signed anything. That is definitely rumor fodder that we will get to in the rumor mill, but confirmed Todd Phillips is co-writing. He's not the sole writer. He is the co-writer of the sequel that we knew was going to happen in spite of everything Todd Phillips told us. Just freaking bizarre. Our next piece is a real quick announcement for Kraven the Hunter. This one's probably one that you've already heard, but it's kind of big because we had so much speculation as who is going to play Kraven. Now we know it is going to be Aaron Taylor Johnson, who played Kick-Ass, was in the first Godzilla movie, was Quicksilver, all of these things, and now he's going to be Kraven the Hunter. It seems like he's pretty comfortable playing comic book characters, so why not stick with something that you like doing, right? So that's what we've got there. Next, we're talking about, again, one that you hopefully have already heard, but was too big to ignore, and that is Highlander. There can be only one. Highlander, Henry Cavill has been cast as the lead. Now, the specifics of that are still not known as to, is it going to be a full-on reboot? So he would be Connor McLeod, I believe, was the movie one. I don't remember what the TV guy's name was, the character's name. I could have that backwards. Maybe the TV was Connor McLeod. Either way, no word if he's going to be either of those, the original movie character played by Christopher Lambert, or the McLeod guy, whatever, for the TV series, whose name, the actor's name I can't even remember right now. I suck at notes. But yeah, Henry Cavill is going to be the Highlander. That very likely will happen. The Joker thing, I don't think is actually 100% right now going to make it to screen. They're going to write a script, and Sony is going to Warner Brothers is going to try and throw a bunch of money at it, but there's no guarantee we're going to see that movie. Highlander, however, sounds like they've already got a script. They definitely have their leading man. Henry Cavill is a busy freaking Superman these days, though it has been said that it will not interfere with the possibility of him coming back as Superman. So there's rumors there. We're not going to really cover any of them, though, because they're all super speculative and not even registering on any sort of import. So moving right along, we have an update. I should have put this a little in the follow-up section, but whatever. Seth Rogen on the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles animated reboot. Seth Rogen has given us a teaser image, which hopefully you are seeing on your screen right about now. That teaser image is Leonardo's homework. And it also gives us apparently a release date. That release date is August 11th of 2023. So we still have a fair amount of time before we see this movie. And not a whole lot to go on here. Definitely seems like it's going to have some sort of 90s theme, so it's going to be set hopefully when the Turtles are actually still teenagers, because that makes all of the sense. And yeah, just sounds like it's still has a strong possibility of being another great Ninja Turtles movie. And then our final piece for the movie section is that Warner Brothers Discovery merger I mentioned a moment ago in the other section. Warner Brothers Discovery, it's not super huge news that the merger is happening. The details are getting a little bit lost in some of the other news outlets. So the real quick TLDR of the merger-ish of what's going on is as such. So Discovery and AT&T have taken the Warner Brothers and Discovery brands and created a new entity with them. So kind of AT&T sold Warner Brothers, but kind of didn't. But the big thing is that it's not really changing that many hands, because there were way too many hands in the pot before. They're just kind of getting rid of some of them and adding one set, which is good, because now we only have one producer to blame when something fails on Warner Brothers' side instead of 7 or 9, I think, at one point. So one direction. Hopefully that's going to happen with this merger. The big news, though, where the new news, I guess, because that's the big part. But the new part is that there has been an official announcement as to what this new entity that they have created together is going to be called. And it's going to be called Warner Brothers Discovery, because it's super original. And yeah, it's kind of dumb. You could have come up with something better than that, I feel like. But brand recognition is a thing that producer types really don't understand. They think that us plebes don't see what's going on. So they're like, oh, we have to use the same names or they're not going to know it's us. Yeah, we're going to know it's you. But whatever. It's a losing battle. It's not an argument to make. But that is the new announcement. That is the movies section. And we're moving right along. Okay, so rumor mill. I'm gonna address something real quick about the meta of the show. I'm going to try and make the second episode of the week rumor heavy and less news, whereas the first episode of the week is going to be more news and less rumors. So I do have some rumors to address. There is a confirmation, or technically a refutation, in here as well. So it still exists. It's just going to be the next episode this week, assuming I get to it, because again, day job schedules and such. But yeah, there's going to be more rumors later this week or in the next episode, whichever happens first. So, confirmations, refutations. We do have 2 in this section. They both have to do with Spider-Man No Way Home. And the first of those is apparently it hasn't been officially confirmed, though now it has been officially confirmed that this movie is going to be a multiverse movie. It's going to deal with the multiverse somehow. I feel like that was kind of announced, maybe not in so many words, but they've already said, because it's the third movie, or it's the third part of the story that started in WandaVision, is going to go to Doctor Strange and the Multiverse of Madness and into Spider-Man 3. That already implies that it's a multiverse movie, so why did we need this official announcement / confirmation? I don't know, but there it is. And the other one that has to do with Spider-Man No Way Home comes from Emma Stone, who recently, in an interview, I believe with Variety, I didn't write it down, has refuted her existence in the movie. She is not coming back as Gwen Stacy. We're not going to see her as Spider-Gwen or Ghost Spider or whichever iteration of that character people were speculating was going to be in this movie. She's not going to be in this movie. It is what it is. We're moving on. So in the actual rumors section, we have 2 Star Wars rumors, and the first one is persistent and will not go away, so we're going to get to it. So the first Star Wars movie has to do with George Lucas. George Lucas is rumored to be coming back into the fold once again. We did see George Lucas on the set of the last, 5 Star Wars projects, so I can understand where this rumor is coming from. I don't think that the big wigs over at Lucasfilm are really aching for him to come back yet, as much as I feel like they maybe kind of should. Although I do still stand by my stance of he did do those prequel movies and they were pretty mediocre to begin with. So it's kind of a mixed bag. The prequel series was definitely better than the sequel series, and it's kind of 6 one way, half a dozen the other. See which one fills up first. The validity of this, I'm going to put right at 50% because it could honestly swing either way. The rumor does go on to say that he is going to come in for the next trilogy of movies as a producer, not an executive producer. So he's going to be theoretically a little bit more hands-on than an executive producer would be. He's not going to be a writer. He's not going to be a director. He's going to be a producer, again, according to the rumors. So that kind of lends itself to a little bit more validity, but not enough for me to bump it up over 50%. Our other rumor for Star Wars is that Daisy Ridley is going to be returning as Rey for a future Star Wars project. The fact that it does not specify movie or series kind of lends to its favor, because I don't know that there is a movie direction that they're planning on going that could include Rey, but in the series that they have going right now, that's very feasible. So I'm putting this one, again, because of the weirdness that is Lucasfilm these days. I can't really put any of these Star Wars rumors above 50%. So we're looking at about a 50-50 chance that we're going to see the character of Rey in a future Star Wars project. So now we're talking about Spider-Man No Way Home. This is the bit that I was teasing before. Spider-Man No Way Home, the rumor is that this movie, Spider-Man No Way Home, is going to be the thing that connects the Spider-less Sony universe with the Spider-full MCU over at Disney. This is going to set up the Sinister Six, which is getting its series or movie. They're kind of being a little vague. It sounds like maybe more likely to be a movie than a series, but I feel like I want the series more, so we're going to leave that door open. Anyway, so this is going to be the connective tissue that's going to connect Sony to Disney, and that's going to bridge that gap. We have heard a variation of this rumor multiple times with every Spider-Man movie that's come out since the MCU formed. No, I cannot give this too much credence. There is a little bit of weight behind it because the studio executives are not entirely stupid, but they are kind of stupid. So the likelihood that this movie will acknowledge the Sony universe beyond anything as more than like a line of dialogue is pretty slim. So I do think there is a possibility that we will get that line of dialogue, but that doesn't really mean that there's connective tissue there. So we're going to put this right about 30% validity to this rumor. Next, we are talking about rumors for the Joker 2. Again, talked about these in a previous section, so watch the rest of the movie or the video. So Joker 2, there have been rumors about this freaking movie ever since it crossed that billion, ever since they were done with production, let alone released and made more than $1 billion. Rumors abound with the movie. Two biggest rumors, though, are Joaquin Phoenix is being offered $50 million to return as the titular character. Now, if you recall, the original movie was made for $55 million. So they're offering him almost the entirety of the first budget to come back and play this character. Not saying money talks, but it kind of does. The other rumor here is that there's going to be not one sequel, but two sequels. They're going to turn this into a trilogy. This is not the first time we have heard such a rumor, but this is the first time we have heard such a rumor since the announcement that Todd Phillips is returning to the project. So we do know that at the very least a second movie is happening, and with the state of Hollywood that we know now, it kind of lends to the credence of this that they very well could be working on 3 of these movies, and if that's the case, then that $55 million is going to be paid out to Joaquin theoretically twice. So $110 million to do 2 movies? I mean, yeah, it's not a bad payday. The validity here, is gone significantly up since we heard rumors about this because of the Todd Phillips announcement. So Joaquin Phoenix returning as the Joker, is not the rumor necessarily. Them offering him the money to return as the Joker is the rumor, and I really think there's a lot here to definitely. We're putting this at about 80% validity. There is very little doubt in my mind that they are actively trying to get Joaquin to come back. If he doesn't, I think the project could theoretically still move forward. It will just change into maybe each movie will be a different possible backstory for the Joker. It will be a different decade and a different version of the Joker because, to keep the unreliable narrator kind of thing with the Joker's backstory going. I think that's honestly a better way to go. So a large part of me hopes that Joaquin doesn't take the money, but that is for a completely different video sometime later. That's what we have on Joker 2. Next, we're moving over to He-Man, not the Kevin Smith animated series, but the live action movie that has kind of been announced, unofficially announced, I think is the proper phrase for that. But Henry Cavill and Chris Hemsworth both appear to be in the running to play He-Man. Henry Cavill is having his freaking moment in the sun. Chris Hemsworth has been in the sun for a while, so both of these are very likely candidates should this movie actually move forward. We're going to actually put this a little bit above halfway because both of those guys make perfect freaking sense. Hemsworth a little bit more than Cavill because Hemsworth blonde, He-Man blonde, that kind of stuff. But still, 60% validity because the rumor just says those two guys are in the running together. It doesn't say one is more likely than the other. And it's reasonable. So 60% validity to this rumor. Our final piece of rumor is gaming related, and it is the Nintendo Switch. Again, the rumor that just won't leave us. Nintendo Switch is reportedly getting a pro version for like the 10th time. We've been talking about this, I think, for like a year and almost 2 years at this point. Basically, since about 6 months after the Nintendo Switch launched, they've been saying that, they're working on a pro version of the console. At first it was they're working on a pro and a lesser version of the console. We got that lesser version. We got the Nintendo Switch Lite. So it I do think that it is still coming down the road. Last time we addressed rumors along this line, I said the same thing. I do think that we will get a pro version of the Switch in order to compete a little bit more with the competition and in order to bridge the gap between its next big hardware update, which will be a brand new console, probably still a few years away from that. So because of all that information, I think we're sitting at about a 70% chance that we will be seeing a new Nintendo Switch Pro edition of some sort in the very near future. It would help if they announced it, sometime around June 12th, E3 happening in the near future. Yeah. And that is our episode, nerds. So thank you for joining me right here on The Week in Nerdom. What did I miss? What should we talk about in the next one? Let me know in the comments down low. If, though, you want to go deeper into the conversation, jump over to the website, generallynerdy.net. Hit me up on the Twitters, at generally_nerdy. Instagram is a place that you can go if you want to just kind of catch clips and stuff. I do post clips up on the Instagram, as well as the photography that coincides with the photography videos. All of that goes up on the Instagram, so you can check all that out. Instagram is at generallynerdy, all one word. Just find me on the socials, man. Look for the Nerdy Ninja. That is the logo. There is all of the stuff. Thank you once again for joining me. We will see you in the next one. Before I go, don't forget to like, subscribe, do all of the things, and we will see you next time. Before I sign off, though, nerds, always remember that if it's generally nerdy, it's probably here.